So we had the second draft of the Democratic platform happen this weekend, and there's some good news, but there's also some bad news. So first I'm going to go to the bad here, but I mean, as many people could have predicted, the first draft had some more progressive things in there, and then by the time we got to the second draft, the Clinton people were like, maybe we should drop that one, and that one, and that one, and they went for, the most progressive things, and they're like, I mean, come on, this one's not going to end up in the final draft of the platform, right? Now, again, they did keep some of the stuff in there, and this is Bernie Sanders' influence, so you could tell he has had an effect, but it is disheartening to see that as time goes by here, they just chip away at the best provisions that there are. So Common Dreams reports here, Clinton surrogates on Friday rejected an amendment supporting the creation of a postal banking system modeled on the one in North Dakota. All right, let me pause there. Just so you guys know, this is basically a way to fuck over the predatory payday lenders. So there's another way we can go about it. We don't need to have predatory payday lenders with exorbitant interest rates where they're just loan sharks, legalized loan sharks, and they get people in more debt and in more trouble, and they screw people over. And so we could do it a different way, and that way is by having the Postal Service actually be a mini bank of sorts, and they take over for the loan sharks, and the loan sharks go away, and then you have better regulation, and you treat people better, so on and so forth. And there's a model that works. Apparently they did a model like this in North Dakota. And so the Bernie Sanders people are like, well, why shouldn't we do that nationwide? Why shouldn't we put in the platform that, hey, at a federal level, this is what we want to do, and this will screw over the loan sharking industry, predatory payday loan industry. Well, the Clinton people were like, And remember, who took a lot of money from the payday lender industry? Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Who has some influence in the committee for this Democratic platform? Debbie Wasserman Schultz. So that is disastrous. And you can see, you don't tell us that the other people, other than the Bernie people, haven't sold out to some degree. Of course they have. Let's continue here. As well as measures that would end corporate welfare, so they beat down measures that would end corporate welfare and lay penalties on companies for offshoring jobs, lift the $250,000 income cap on the Social Security tax, and expand cost of living increases for senior citizens' Social Security benefits. Woo! Okay, there's a lot there. So they're saying, no, we no longer want to expand Social Security. That was a big win for Bernie Sanders. They're like, more just protect it. Let's protect it and keep it as is, as opposed to Bernie Sanders' more progressive rhetoric, which is, expanding it and making it bigger and better and going in the opposite direction of the Republicans, as opposed to just coasting as is. So lost there, lost on Social Security, on the cap for Social Security. Now, if you don't raise the cap for the tax on Social Security, well, that means that eventually you're going to have the Democrats and the Republicans try to cut a deal where you save money for Social Security in a different way, namely raising the retirement age or something like that. That's a disaster. Why would you move away from that? Well, we know because they're bought. And even they say ending corporate welfare. No, we're not going to do that. And we're not going to lay penalties on companies for offshoring. Well, for fuck's sake, why don't you just, put a big old sign on you that says, perhaps Donald Trump is more pro-worker than we are. I mean, how fucking insane is that? You're the Democratic Party. You're like, I don't know, corporate welfare sometimes could be kind of awesome. And offshoring jobs, should we penalize those companies? Because they take money from these big corporations. That's why. And remember, guys, this is all the Clinton people who are beating back the good provisions. The Bernie people are apoplectic. They're like, what are we doing? One of the Bernie people tweeted about this. Congratulations, we just wrote half the GOP platform. Kind of true. They say they also rejected a proposal to include a statement in the party's platform calling for Israel's, quote, end to occupation and illegal settlements. Here we go again. So Bernie's people are like, okay, look, we're not going crazy. We're not putting in the Democratic platform right to return, for example, where Israel no longer exists, give everything back to the Palestinians. They're like, no, we're not doing that. All we're asking for is, quote, end to occupation and illegal settlements. Clinton people are like, no. No, we're actually pro-illegal settlement, thank you very much. Like, they're going by international law. They're saying, hey, how about we put a provision in there that says the UN is right, and maybe illegal settlements are by definition illegal, and those should stop? I don't know. I don't know about that. Why? Because Hillary Clinton loves Netanyahu. She agrees with Likud and Israel. And, I mean, are they really a partner in peace? No. Insofar as they are a partner in peace, this is the kind of peace they're in favor of. Hey, Palestinians, you get whatever Israel wants to give you, and then you call it a day. You want to make a two-state deal? Let's make a two-state deal, but it's just going to be you with your tiny sliver of land that you have right now, and there's not going to be like the 1967 borders, for example. That's off the table even though that would be a much more fair deal. Forget that. It's whatever Israel wants, and we're not even going to say we want to end occupation and illegal settlements. It's like they're proudly on the wrong side of history. And then the other thing they lost on, which of course is a big deal, TPP. Bernie's people are like, could we just put anti-TPP language in there, please? And they go, no, they have some language that's pure sophistry about how we are against trade deals that hurt the American worker. Yeah, sure. They say that about all the, like, oh, no, we're against trade deals that hurt the American worker, but we're for trade deals. And then whatever deal they pass, they go, this one's for workers. Except it's not. It never is. Was NAFTA for workers? No. Was the Panama trade deal, the Colombia trade deal, were any of these for actually good for workers? No. Certainly not American workers. And they're like, what do you mean? I don't understand why you're so mad. We're saying that we're for workers, even though we do policies that are against workers, but at least we say we're for workers. No, if you really want to be for workers, be clear. Say we are against TPP. They don't do it. They don't do it. They can't do it. And I love the argument they gave. They said, well, you know, we wouldn't want to embarrass the current sitting Democratic president who's for TPP. So we have to cater the platform to his feelings, to the deal leader's feelings, as opposed to what the overwhelming majority of Democrats believe, which is we don't want to do this deal. I mean, think about that. Again, it goes back to this idea that Democratic politicians cannot fail the people. Only the people can fail Democratic politicians. No, their job is to represent us. If they're not representing us, I don't really give a fuck about whether or not I'm hurting their feelings. They're supposed to represent us. We're not supposed to represent them. And then also, somebody else made a great point about this. Well, hold on. So Hillary Clinton says she's against TPP. By leaving anti-TPP language out of it, wouldn't you be embarrassing the nominee of the party? But that's the thing. She just says she's against it. Bernie's actually against it. She just says she's against it. So both of the candidates running are against it, but they go, no, we have to bow to the sitting Democratic president who's for it. This is terrible, man. And then, so what are the things that we still won on? $15 minimum wage, that's still in there. I think that's a concession that they're fine with giving, and I think that'll probably stay in there. And strong climate change language as well, calling it, quote, a climate emergency. There's also a path to marijuana legalization in there, and they do go as far as to call for a two-state solution in Israel-Palestine. Again, my concern is that if you don't say you're for ending occupation and illegal settlements, that your idea of a two-state solution is, let's just draw borders as they are right now, where we already took a metric fuck ton of your land, and then you get like 20% of the land. We get 80. Great two-state deal. No, it's not. No, it's not. You got to go 67 borders if you want to be even remotely in the ballpark of fair. But there's other stuff in there, too, that, you know, you could say it makes it significantly better than the Republican platform, which I don't think has been created yet, but we all know what is going to be in there. But actually, that'd be interesting to see. If Donald Trump has a bunch of influence on the platform, will they put anti-trade deal language in there? Who knows? He hits it every fucking day. Could you imagine if we get to a point in American politics where, in the Republican platform, they're more against trade deals than the Democrats? I mean, that would be the final proof we need to know that a political realignment actually has happened. So, I mean, I don't know. We're going to see. And it's be interesting to see on intervention what it says in the Republican platform, because half the time you have Donald Trump saying insanely hawkish shit, way more hawkish than Hillary Clinton when he says, like, let's kill civilians. But then the other half of the time, he's less interventionist. And he's like, I don't know, let's stay out of Syria. I don't care if Putin bombs them. In fact, let him bomb ISIS. So there is a chance that the Republican platform is not nearly as horrible as it's been in previous years. And that sets up an interesting conundrum for Democrats, because I've seen all the headlines for the Democrats. I mean, it's crazy. The mainstream media is so disconnected from reality. It in the words of Donald Trump, it'll make your head spin. Because they make it like, they make this platform watered down now, definitely just a centrist-y kind of document. And all the headlines are like, the most liberal platform in Democratic Party history. But I just told you all the progressive provisions that they were like, yeah, no. So what do you mean? If you really want to win the election, and if you really want to get people excited and to vote for you, you need to have a platform that's basically written by Bernie Sanders. If you don't do that, people are going to go, you are a bullshit center-right sellout party. You just are. You just are. And then it's a matter of, will the Republicans be smart enough to walk through that door, that giant opening that the Democrats are leaving you, where they're saying, look, you can solidify being the more anti-establishment party, at least in this election cycle, if you include certain language in there. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm happy that Bernie Sanders' influence is reflected on certain things in the platform. I just wish it was reflected in more things.